Welcome back to today's Tech Tip Tuesday. Today we're going to go through Microsoft Approvals so that we can get our managers or maybe another department manager to approve some work or holiday or a document. Anything you need approved in your 365 tenant, we have all the ability to do it again within the licenses we're already paying for. So how does it work? Let's take a look. We have our leads list that we've been looking at, so we can automate, configure approvals, and we'll turn it on. And then we're actually going to set a default approver, and that's going to be GoBot. Some of the other settings, if you have multiple people that need to approve something, you can have a specific order it goes down in as each person approves it, or you can have your multiple people all need to approve. What we're going to do is we just need GoBot to approve it. So that's all we need. We just put that there. We don't want that to be overridden. Only GoBot can approve. So let's apply. It takes a second and we get our approval status. So maybe I've just done my follow-up with Ask Jeeves. I click there. I can change the request approval name to now hot. Ideal customer profile is 80%. Don't need any more details. We'll just submit that. Creates it down the bottom. Takes a second or two. And then in order to see that, we'll just have to hop over to Teams, but you can see we've gone from not submitted to requested, and it's going to pull on the latest data there. So the timestamp, pending response. I can approve from here because I'm GoBot, but I could also, maybe I'm not in that list at the moment, but I'm in Teams. So I can come to approvals on the left, and if you don't see that, it normally is under the three dots, and you can right click and pin it or unpin if you need it there. So you can see I've got two. I've got a requested there, and I've got a now hot ideal, the one I just made. So we'll click on that. I get a link back to the list that I could click on and see more information. I could cancel it, follow up or reassign, but I'm just happy to approve. I could give a response back if I wanted, but we'll see final status approved, and back in the library we'll click there, and it will go and find that it's approved, and it was approved by GoBot a minute or so after it was requested. Wouldn't that be the dream if everything worked that quick? So it's now approved. Perfect. I see that nice and easily, but it can also be used elsewhere, so like Power Automate. So let's undo what I've done here. We just need to turn it off there, and we'll see that that column disappears. But what I am going to do is I'm going to bring in a column I've already made. So approved to close. You can see it's set to yes because I was testing just before this. So we're going to empty all of that, and we're going to set the client, the lead, to warm. Perfect. So then I've got a flow here. Nothing's running. Just double check. Oh, there's a few things running. So let's just cancel some of these because we just want to see it working, and it can be a bit slower with them all running. So we'll just cancel all of these. See what breaks later. Perfect, nothing's running. But let's just take a quick look at what this flow does. So if an item is created or modified, so where in SE leads, anything here, any item on the list is changed, it's going to go right. There's a flow for that. The flow realizes that something's changed, and it's going to try and run this flow. But I've set another condition under settings first. So I've set it so that only triggers if the field temp value changes to hot. If that field here contains hot, only then will this run. And what it does is, if it finds that that's all accurate, it will start the approval. So as we saw before, first to respond, just need the one person to do it. If we've got multiple, new lead is now hot, and it pull through the company name that's changed. GoBot will approve it, and then leaders become hot, happy to close. We could add a link, description, notifications. You get all the normal settings that we saw before. And then it will update the item. So followed up yes, and approved to close. Now I probably should add more logic here so that if it's approved, it will set this to yes. but we're just testing. But you could have it if the approval was denied, just with a simple condition, it will set approve to close to no. Maybe the manager doesn't think that 80% is a good enough profile fit for that customer. That's why they might reject it, but we're just going to keep it simple and say yes. So then what we'll do is we'll go back here. Maybe I'm just editing stuff and I don't use the button, but I just go hot and I exit. That's now set to hot, so this has triggered a change. The flow will be picking that up. We can come here and we'll just wait for it to pick up that change. It's got to make a fool of me, obviously. Yeah. Manager, let's just give it another little kick. It's now running. And if we click in this, we can see how it's running. And we see here it's waiting for the approval because it's sent it off to GoBot. We saw my notification change from 7 to 8 there. And if we refresh the approvals, we should see a couple there that are under requested. 10 past 3, that should be the one. And we can come in and we'll just go. Approve that lead for Ask Jeeves, and it's going to do the same thing, but we can come here, refresh the list, and it's finished the flow because we finally approved it and it's set approve to close to yes. And then we can have all our normal other triggers triggering off to say to that maybe salesperson, right, go close that deal now, that they're hot and they're a good fit for us. So that's some ways to use approvals. Let us know if you're manually approving things, manually emailing them, sending them in Teams, and let's get this automated for you so you just get the request when it comes in, you click approve, and the other person gets told you've approved it, just using the tech we already have at our fingertips to make our work lives so much easier. So reach out today if approvals can help your team.